welcome back to this week's episode of Book Bestie, and I am your host, Megan. Long time no see. It's been about 2 weeks since I last posted an episode. I'm very sorry. I have some excuses though, so just, bear with me. Listen, hear me out. So basically, as I mentioned 700 million thousand times, I was in my last year of college. Was is a terrifying word, but anyway, 2 weeks ago was my final in-person week. Basically, I was pedal to the metal. I had so much shit due, and I was stressed. As you can tell by my skin right now, and if you're watching, you can tell by my skin how I was feeling. And the fact that I'm still recovering, I feel like is even more a bigger indication. And then last week I had a couple assignments due, but I was back home at this point. And I was all moving out of my college accommodation and everything, so it was in general just a very hectic week. My room looked like a bomb went off because I had brought stuff home that had never seen my home. It was only ever down in Carlo. So I apologize. I'm so sorry, but I'm here with a couple updates. I'm here with a couple little chit-chatty vibes. I want to kind of explain the future of Book Bestie and why I have to explain the future of Book Bestie. So from the start, I never really told fully why I started Book Bestie, how it started, yada yada. But basically, I was studying TV and media production, and for my final year project, which is essentially, some courses have their dissertation, I had a final year project. I had to make something media related, and I did a podcast module in second year, and I just adored it. It was so much fun. And also, for the first 3 years of my course, they were very group orientated. I had to rely on people we were making short films and all this kind of stuff, and I had to rely on these people, and I could not do that for my final project. It was rough. It was very not fun. There was a lot of shit that it's losing hair thinking about it. So I knew for my final project, I wanted it to be something that I could do by myself, and I was relying on myself to get it done. And it just meant that hopefully I could get the most out of it that I could. So I decided on the podcast. At the time when I was kind of thinking about it, I had really got into reading. I was starting to consume a lot more book content. So my original plan was to actually make an entire YouTube channel, and also the podcast separately. However, I was told that was not an option, and I had to do the podcast and link digital marketing into it. So that's what I had to do. And I started Book Bestie, and I started back in November of last year. Was it last year? Yes, November last year, I started Book Bestie. And because it was a college assignment, essentially, I wasn't as focused on the kind of how fun this is. And although I appreciated it and I loved doing it because it was fun to me and it was something that I enjoyed doing, it at the end of the day in the back of my mind was always this little thing of, you're getting marked on this. And I was very much so aware that the way I was being marked was based on views, engagement, how everybody was feeling, if I was growing. And that put so much pressure on me to do with this podcast. Obviously, if anyone has ever tried to start posting on social media, it is really a gamble. You can put so much work into something and it's still just not blow up, as it does with other people, and you could still be doing the absolute most that you could be doing. So that was very stressful for me to have to kind of navigate overworking myself to the point of this was no longer fun. But luckily I never got to that point. This was always something that I enjoyed doing, and I was also very stressed, obviously, with the whole knowing it was being marked. But also I had all my other modules that I had going on at the same time, and I had to be doing them and doing this and editing this and posting it, and I had to do full length scripts for each episode and have a full, really detailed, laid out plan. And I wasn't allowed to kind of stray away from books whatsoever. Once I was locked in on books, that was it. That was my topic, and that's what I had to stick with. And obviously, I love books. I wouldn't be here if not. It is something I adore, and I'm so excited to be finished college now to actually get to read something. But there was also some weeks that I just hadn't really read anything because I was really busy and just didn't have the time. So I found it quite hard to actually sit down, and I felt like each episode was getting quite repetitive, and that's what was really, really bothering me. Was I was talking about, like, obviously there are books that I love, and I'm going to continue talking about the books that I love, but in terms of doing like little book trends or book tags or whatever, I was kind of repeating the same books over and over again because I hadn't got a chance to read anything new. And it had been a while since I had really, really loved a book, because I was so stressed that whenever I sat down to read, I was like, oh my God, I need to be doing this and this and this and this and this. Now, obviously, a certain amount of that structure is good, and a certain amount of that structure I'll be keeping. Just, it helps me stay on topic. If you can't tell, I'm quite a rambler. I can really get off topic quite quickly. And I also have the memory of a goldfish, which means I can talk about something for about 20 minutes and instantly forget what I was talking about. It is a talent of mine. So basically, this was a very long-winded way of telling you how Book Bestie started. So I feel like now, being done with college, I want to continue doing this. I've adored doing this. I think it's been so much fun. I would love to start a booktube channel because I just feel like that would also be really fun. I'm currently working, obviously. I'm out of college now, so it's just a matter of saving money and trying to figure out my next steps. But yeah, I feel like the best thing to do is to start season 2 of Book Bestie. I loved season 1. It obviously got me to this point, and I'm so grateful. But I feel like I just kind of want to start season 2 now that I'm out of college, and it's going to be less reliant on me putting so much pressure on everything needing to be perfect. I wanted everything to be super long and super amazing and stuff because, again, I was being marked on it. And obviously that doesn't mean that I'm going to put less work into the episodes. It just means that I can kind of have a bit more leeway now. I'm not stuck in this tiny little box that I was stuck in. Like, if I want to come on and chat about an album that just came out, like, I might. So I really hope that that's okay with you guys. I would love to hear your opinions. But yeah, I just feel like I want to start season 2 of Book Bestie. I want a new chapter. Sorry, excuse the disgusting book pun just there. But I do. I want to start a new chapter. I want Book Bestie to now, it's owned by me. It's mine. It's 100% my decisions, my opinions. I'm not going to have to think about, oh my God, my lecturer is going to watch this and I'm going to get marked on it. It's completely like a fresh slate, and that's what I want. So I'm really excited. I just feel like these episodes, I'm just going to be able to put more work into them. Like, as I mentioned, I'm working 5 days a week. So I'm going to still be under a little bit of pressure, but I feel like it's just going to be so much better. I feel like it's going to just be so much more fun. And I just want to start posting on TikTok and Instagram and stuff and just really find a cute little community. I'm so excited. I really hope you guys are excited too. I hope you don't hate the really chatty random episodes. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to involve you guys a little bit more as well. I want to be posting more on kind of like the Instagram about topics I want to talk about and stuff like that. And just dedicate a hell of a lot more time than I have been because I don't really got anything else going on. As I said, just working, so I don't have like 700 other classes I have to be doing stuff for. I'm going to have so much time now to read new books. I'm so unbelievably excited to read new freaking books. I'm so excited to just read in general. So it just means, again, I'll have more of those episodes where I'm focusing on a book or a series. I have more time to read and really digest and kind of break down what I'm going to talk about in the episodes, and I'm so ridiculously excited. Really hope you guys are there with me. Maybe ? But yeah, so this is just kind of a quick little update, a quick little hello everybody, and welcome to season 2 of Book Bestie. What else can I talk about? Oh my god, how could I not mention this? On Monday, it is currently Wednesday, the 8th of May when I'm filming this. On Monday, the 6th of May, I met Anna Huang. That's insane. She was in Eason's in Dublin on O'Connell Street, and I actually got tickets for it, which was insane. The whole ticket thing went down, and it was like such a mad scramble to even try and get tickets. So yeah, basically I'm just gonna like walk you through what happened really quick. Basically, I live in the southeast of Ireland, and had to travel up to Dublin, so it was about like a 2.5 hour train ride. Usually that's what it is, right? So I'm there booking the train. It's a bank holiday, and if you don't live in Ireland, for some fucking reason the entire country shuts down when it's a bank holiday. Like, everyone just fails to function. So basically I had to get a train to Bray, which is in Wicklow, and then I had to get a bus then from Bray up to Dublin. Pain in the ass, like such a pain. I don't like buses in general, so I was like, that's why I'm taking the train in the first place. But no, had to sit on a bus for like an hour, whatever. We are running so extremely behind. I managed to force my lovely, amazing boyfriend to come with me, to go meet Anna as my chaperone, and he got on. We were meant to hit him at a certain stop at I think it was like 11:15. We didn't hit him till about 11:30. I was like, I'm fucked, because we were already going to be late. The event started at 1. Our train was meant to get in, or like the bus from the train was meant to get in at 1:10. And then we had to like walk 10-15 minutes. So I was stressed. I'm not a good person with being late. I like to be early, like disgustingly early to things. It's a bit of a problem of mine, but so we were going to be late and I was stressed. So then when we were already delayed, and then we pulled into Wicklow, and they were like, we're waiting for a train to come down. We're just going to have to chill here for a while. We were there for like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, we're fucked. I was like, we are royally fucked. So we ended up getting into Dublin, I think, maybe about 1:30. And then we like legged it, ran to the Easons. Luckily, everything was fine. We got in the back of the queue. I bought King of Sloth. I didn't pre-order it because I wanted to actually get it there. I wanted to be like, ooh, I got this book while I was there. And then I actually read all of Anna's books on my Kindle. So I didn't even own any, and I was going to buy some the week before, and I completely forgot. So I ended up buying Twisted Lies, which thank God it was there because it's one of my favorite. Twisted Lies and Twisted Games are my favorites in that series. And I also bought Kings of Wrath because I love that book so much. It's my favorite out of the King of Sins series. Whoa. Bit of a tongue twister. So that was that, and we were in the back of the line, and then we realized how fucking slow the line was moving. Bless Anna, like 100%, like she was taking her time with everybody. She was talking to everybody, which obviously when you're there in your moment with her, you're so grateful for and you're so excited about. But when you're at the back of the line, you're like, hurry the fuck up. So that was a little painful. We were queuing for, I think, just over 2.5 hours. We were one of like the last couple people to meet her, to be honest. It was really, we were really the last kind of to show up, but it was fun. It was really amazing. She personalized one book and then just signed the other 2, which was so cool. So I have like, my King of Sloth has like my name on it and her name. Oh, it's so cute. I'm so excited. I posted a, I hate saying this word, a plog. If you don't know what a plog is, because I didn't know what a plog was. It's a photo vlog on TikTok. I sound 80. Why the fuck did I just sound like I was 80 years old? But anyway, I posted a blog on my TikTok if you want to go see my my pictures of the day. So yeah, it was insane. It was so cool to actually like get to meet her. It was crazy because I feel like not a lot of authors come to Ireland. Even like UK authors, it's really hard to get any of them to come over to Ireland. So it was just insane to see her. I was chatting to her about like how she was finding Ireland. She said she loved it and she was gonna be back. So I really hope she actually meant that, because that'd be really cool. So yeah, it was insane to actually get to like meet an author. It was like my first time. Like I had never owned a signed book before until like about 2 weeks ago when I got my Emily Henry funny story. I forgot about that as well. I'll mention that in a second. But I got the Waterstones signed version of Funny Story. So it's a hardback and it has sprayed edges and it's signed by Emily, which was crazy because Emily Henry is like, my God. Like I love that woman so much. She could write on the back of a napkin her shopping list and I'd be like, mine. Yep, I'll read it. So that was really cool. But then now I have like, 4 total signed books, which is kind of crazy. It just feels like really cool. It's like a part of like my reading journey that I'm entering now, like my special editions and signed books and stuff, and I'm just really excited. It sounds so stupid probably to anybody that like doesn't read or like doesn't care, but I'm very excited about it. But overall, it was an insane day. She was so sweet. I got some really cute pictures. Shout out to Anna's freaking publicist that was there. She was the cutest human ever. She would like take a picture of you talking to Anna and also like obviously like the proper picture of you like standing beside her. I was like, go Bestie. I was like, you're adorable. I was like, you understood the assignment. Oh, she was so cute and she was so sweet as well. She was like chatting away to everybody. So nice. Overall, like everyone in the Eastons was like so sweet. There was like this older security guy and he was like talking about how cute it was that like just to see everybody like excited about books, and I was like crying. I was like, I'm roaring. What the hell? That was adorable. And everyone else at the event was really sweet. There was no like bitchy people. There was no one kind of rude or ignorant. Everyone was like just super excited and all kind of running on the same wavelength, which was pretty cool. So that is how I met Anna Huang, which was really amazing. Now, a funny story. That's what I was going to talk about next. I love that woman. I love Emily Henry. Funny Story was so good. I was really nervous going into it. Because as I mentioned, like I love Destiny Sidwell and Sarah Crowley and Haley Pham and stuff on YouTube, and Destiny didn't like Funny Story, and she's like a diehard Emily girl like I am, so I was terrified going into this book. Terrified. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, what do I do? Because again, I am diehard Emily Henry. Diehard. Love that woman. But I'm also like, as much as I love her, I'm not afraid to admit that like some of her books aren't as much of my favorite as others are. Like Happy Place is like top of the list. The quotes out of that book, just in general where I am currently in my life and kind of going on to a new stage, like just having Happy Place and like again just the whole premise of that book was just so hit home. It hit home. So going into Funny Story, it was super terrified. Destiny talked about how she didn't love the male character. So she's like, I've never read a book before where I didn't even like the main male character and like I couldn't root for them because I didn't like him. I don't know how. I loved Miles. I loved that man. Emily Henry just writes the perfect men written by women ever. She kills it every time. And I just personally loved Daphne's growth. Sorry, could you tell I forgot her fucking name for a minute? Anyway, Daphne's growth. The entire premise of the book is basically our main female character Daphne is engaged to a man called Peter, and he has a girl best friend Petra who is in a relationship with Miles. On his bachelor trip, Peter decides just randomly that he's in love with Petra and leaves Daphne. And Daphne and Miles move in together because Daphne has nowhere to go. Peter basically like her out of the house. He's like, bye bitch, out of the house. So she goes and moves in with Miles. Then everything kind of takes place after that. She works in a library. Her entire thing is she wants to leave where she is. I don't remember where they were. But wherever she was currently, she had only purely moved there because of Peter. So she wanted to go move to be closer to her mom and stuff, but she had a commitment in this library that she wanted to see out, and she was basically like heart set on leaving. And her growth, just from she was a very self-conscious woman at the start. She kind of blamed a lot of what happened in her and Peter's relationship on herself, and she was really nervous to see him, and she was really awkward and everything. And by the end of the book, she was like, fuck you, Peter. Fuck you, Gwyneth Paltrow. You know what you did. That's constantly playing in my brain at some point. Somewhere in there at all times. That's in my head. Sorry. See, the rambling. It's a bit of a problem. I'm trying to stay on track, I promise. So Daphne's growth in general was amazing. I love her so much. She's definitely one of my favorite female main characters that Emily Henry's wrote. But yeah, I adored it. And I was like, what the hell, Destiny? But I think Sarah liked it. I think Haley liked it. I haven't actually watched any of their videos where they talked about it. It was just their Goodreads that I saw because I was avoiding them all like the plague. My book, coming from Waterstones, obviously to Ireland, it took a bit longer. So I was avoiding like everything. I was like, I don't want to see any of it. I want to go in so blind. Because to be honest, the only idea I had of the premise was from the episode I did with Grace, currently overbooked, because she gave me like a very brief synopsis. That was the only reason I knew even what that book was about. But that says a lot about me, the fact that I already had it pre-ordered and just didn't even care. I was like, Emily Henry, in my basket. You're coming home with me. So I loved it. Anyway, I thought it was really cute. Loved the entire premise. It was something that I've never read before, that kind of like both of their significant others kind of like fucked off together and they were just left there. So I really enjoyed that. I thought it was just really interesting. But yeah, I just love as well how she writes kind of like that smaller town, big group of like interesting characters, kind of like that Gilmore Girls-y vibe. I loved that so much. I loved watching Daphne grow relationships with people in her life, because as a child she kind of moved around a lot. So watching her actually kind of make these relationships with these other women in her life and kind of see them as something that, yes, she lost a lot growing up, but like partly that was her fault, but also understanding the kind of work that goes into maintaining friendships and stuff. So that was actually really cool. I really actually enjoyed that part of it as well. That's like one of my favorite parts about Emily Henry books. It's like, yes, that they're romance books, and at the end of the day you get your romance and you get that little dose of that. But also, I feel like your main characters, they just have lives outside of each other, which I feel like is so important. And it just makes the book a bit more interesting as well. You're not only reading about this couple, and it just means that if you don't 100% love the couple, you could still possibly enjoy the book, because it's just, there is a lot going on. I'm trying to think of like what else I could talk about. I'm just kind of like doing like a general update on like everything, me reading, the podcast, my life. I'm like looking over at my bookshelf, like what's going on over there. I'm currently reading King of Sloth, obviously. Obviously I'm currently reading King of Sloth after that. I was in the middle of reading Powerful, which is the little novella in the Powerless series. But I did put that down to read King of Sloth because I was obviously on like a bit of an Anna kick after meeting her on Monday. So that's what I'm currently reading. I'm trying to think of like other books coming out soon that I'm excited for. Reckless, obviously the second book in the Powerless series. I am disgustingly excited for that book. Goddamn, if you have not read Powerless yet by Lauren Roberts, please, for the love of God, read that book. It's insane. Oh my God. It's YA, just pre-warning if you don't like YA fantasies. It is YA, but I personally loved it. Yeah, I think that's actually kind of it. I am just so excited to move forward. I'm so excited for season 2 of Book Bestie. I'm so excited to get in it with you guys. I just have so much more time now, and I just can physically feel like this weight coming off my chest, and just getting to actually read again and getting to actually commit to things like this that I love and I want to spend my time on, instead of, like, obviously I enjoyed my college course. It's something that I obviously want to do for the rest of my life and have to try find a job in, but this is something that I love doing and I'm really excited about, so getting to spend more time on that is so much freaking fun. But other than that, I think that's it for this week's episode, which is kind of crazy. So other than that, I think that is it for this week's episode. Go follow me on Instagram at BookBestiePod or at Megan_Jor. On TikTok, I'm just Megan Jor. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. If you didn't know, I post visual versions of all of the podcasts onto YouTube. So if you wanted to watch them instead of listening, you can do so over there. And if you are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast, please make sure to rate the podcast. It helps tremendously. It just means that they push the podcast more to people who listen to kind of like-minded things. But yeah, other than that, I think that is it. Welcome to season 2, besties. I'm excited to have you. And thank you for all the support. It really, truly, genuinely means the world to me. I will see you all next week. Bye.